Greetings and welcome, everybody. It's Urban Libertarian. Thanks for watching and giving you a shout out from the internet ghetto of the demonetized zone of YouTube and from the S-hole, which is LA. So yeah, I've got to talk about what's been going on today and what's been going on for a while now. I'm sure everybody's making a bunch of videos about this. Why can't I? I need a vent. I need an outlet. So here we go. So I'm going to talk about how these kids who are walking out of school today are being used, how this movement's associated with communism, and how these kids are actually looking at the wrong statistic. If they're really worried, they should start to try to raise the age of driving licenses for kids to 18 or 21, because a lot of kids die and more kids die in car accidents and texting while driving. Car accidents and texting is a big part of it. So really, these kids should be trying to ban cell phones and cars for anybody under 18. But I digress. So this is what Daily Mail said. Thousands of high school students across the country abandon lessons and walk out of their classrooms, right? And they said that it was grassroots, right? They say it's a grassroots organization. I mean, and the thing is like, what if you disagree with this? Like, the schools are okay with it, but what if it was a pro Second Amendment rights rally? Do you think they'd be cool with it? Probably not. And, you know, first and foremost, though, it is really sad these kids died. And it's just sad that their government failed them. And they're being pushed along from this agenda that they don't even know what they're talking about. It's pretty sad. I mean, what is this going to do? They're laying down and asking for us to do what? Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Right. So educate yourself on our country. Educate yourself on the Second Amendment. Educate yourself on gun laws. Educate yourself on guns. These people don't even know what the heck they're talking about. There's videos out there of people, of these anti-Second Amendment people, just not knowing what they're saying. Like, look up Ghost Gun Kevin De Leon, who was once my representative. Oh my goodness, this guy's going off about ghost guns and 30 clips per second. I mean, just total nonsense. They don't know what they're talking about. You know, they're calling for, like, the banning of all semi-automatic weapons. That is basically everything. You can't do that. And these kids are getting used by people with really bad intentions, and it's like their cover. They throw the kids out there and they say, oh, don't criticize the kids. You know, that's bullying. You can't do that. Right? So they use these kids, guns, kids. Then, okay, so then 1 round a minute. Now it probably says like 50 rounds a minute. Now see, I don't want to bash kids. You know, here's the weird thing too. When I was their age, when I was a teenager, I would be against my fellow classmates. I wrote for the school newspaper, and I wrote a pro gun article. Like, let's look at these. How many of us need to die? No NRA money. The NRA is funded by, like, gun owners. Worry about us. But then now, so 1 round a minute, okay. And then now, so they've got like a cool AR. Well, let's see, it's an AR with a pistol grip with a movable stock. It looks like they got a pretty dope. Looks like they got an ACOG on there. Huh? Interesting. It looks like they put a handle on there, like they got an M60. But anyway, they try to make a scary looking black gun. And then the argument I would say to that kid would be like, okay, so then this was the military arm of the British Army, who we were trying to fight. Who we actually did fight, and we were successful using the same weapons that they did. So when we were fighting the American revolutionaries, were fighting the British, they had the same weaponry. Actually, I believe we actually had more advanced weaponry. I think that's when we invented the rifled barrel was invented in America. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that's watching this. Please let me know, but I believe one of the advantages that the colonists had is that they had rifled barrels, which made their bullets more true and more straight, where the British used the older technology of the musket or whatnot with the ball that comes out. I could be wrong. I know that wasn't always the case, but I believe that happened eventually, and that was something that did help us win, along with the Native Americans teaching us how to fight guerrilla warfare. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. But again, I would tell this girl that's like, look, if that's what the military used back then, this would even be, she's actually arguing we should have the same guns as the military. Okay, fine. ARs are or what they like to call assault weapons, which don't exist. They're semi-automatic weapons. So if she's saying we should have the same weapons as the military, then we should have like 3 burst rounds and full autos. So again, this doesn't make any sense. Sorry, kids, it doesn't. And I've had this stance since I was their age. I mean, these poor brainwashed kids. Bernie, we want communism. And I'll get to that next. This is our future. Yeah, a society where only criminals and the government has guns. That doesn't sound like a future I want to be in. And then this orange, it's prison colors. They're dressed in prison colors. Look at this. Stand united. I'm with y'all. No more silence. End gun violence. You can't. That's like, how do you end fist violence, which kills more people? How do you end knife violence? How do you end car violence? You can't. It's a product of life. I mean, you can have better parenting, maybe. Sure. And then a culture that fosters like a nonviolent culture, but that's not what we have. You know, listen to music talking about killing each other and stuff. Tell me what anyone needs an AR-15 for. I mean, I could pull up videos of little girls, 13. There's countless stories. Look it up. It's true. I've seen more than one story of like little 13-year-old girls getting an AR and either not having to use it or fending off multiple intruders who are armed. You know, you might need an AR-15 when you're about to get what do you call that? Like gang stalked or whatever, where they home invasion robbery, where you've got 5 gang members armed with 9mm coming at you, right? So in California, we can only have 10 rounds. All right. So then let's say I have let's say I even have a 10-round AR-15. Okay. Not, you know, most people probably have a 9mm or 45 handgun, but let's say, fine, I get the AR-15, which is a bit more, which is going to help me a bit more because I could have better aim. You know, but what am I supposed to do against 5 guys who don't follow California gun laws, who probably have like sawed-off shotguns? Their 9mm got like 30 rounds and shit. You know, that's what these are for. So AR-15s are for hunting pigs. They're good for hunting other animals. They are very good for home defense, as I just said. They're great range toys. I don't know. Tell me, what does somebody need? What do you need a iPhone 10 with 600 gigs of memory for? What do you need a Porsche 911 with 500 horsepower for? You don't really need it, do you? No. I mean, but cars kill a lot of people, so why don't we just ban Porsches? You know, people die while walking, but texting and walking, and they get hit by Priuses that are silent because you can't hear them coming. That's something that I've been listening on the radio. We've got in LA, we've got a high incidence of people getting run over in some of the higher rent areas like Beverly Hills and stuff like that, because you got a combination of dumbasses on their phone who don't pay attention, right? I see it all the time. You see it. You know what I'm talking about. But it's, you know, especially in the major cities, people are walking and they're looking at their phone. You got a dude with the Prius that's silent. It just kind of goes like, it's kind of, you know, you can't even hear it. Boom, you're dead. And I don't hear anybody trying to ban phones or AR-15s. All right, here, look at this genius. What is more important, our rights to life, liberty, and or the pursuit of happiness, or your guns? Never again, gun X'd out. No more children. People should die. Well, how do you protect life, liberty, and happiness, dude? Don't you think that the founders put the Second Amendment second on for a reason? How do you protect your life and liberty and happiness? Well, how do you protect that when someone tries to steal it? Okay, you know, if you care so much about the weaker, you know, you care so much about women, transgender, the elderly, the handicapped. These are the people that need to be armed the most. How is a 70-year-old woman supposed to fight off 2 gang members that are trying to home invasion rob her house? What's she supposed to do? Huh? How is she supposed to protect her life, liberty, and happiness without her gun? that gives her that equalization. You know, how is some bullied transgender person in Arkansas is walking down the street. Some guy's like, come here, you queer, or whatever, right? And then she pulls out their weapon. Those dudes cry like little babies and they run off. That's what happens. Most people don't have to use their gun. In fact, guns are used to deter crime more than it actually causes crime. So again, your argument is stupid. Sorry, dude. Sorry. It doesn't make any sense. And these kids are just walking out. Less guns, more whatever. Okay, so I'm moving on. Okay, so that's not a... So Daily Mail is saying that this is a grassroots event, right? The walkout set to 10 a.m. Where was it? Here we go. Participants in the National School Walkout, a massive protest organized by Youth Empower, a branch of young activists affiliated with the Women's March, called on Congress to pass stricter gun laws. We already have the strictest... Okay, well, before I get into the communist connection, stricter gun laws, I mean, if you want to look at that whole incident in Florida, it comes down to, look, I don't even want to get into it, but, just briefly, the government failed, and we have laws, and they weren't properly enacted. We have certain regulations, we have certain laws, we have certain procedures, and they weren't done properly, and that's government's fault. So then you want government to only have guns, and then no one else, just government and criminals? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's just stupid, right? The same people that are running around and saying cops, kill cops, pigs in a blanket, are the same people that only want cops to have guns. What? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the Women's March, right? So the Women's March is related to the Communist Party USA and Democrats Socialists of America. According to their own website, they're communists. And then, of course, communists don't want the public to have guns. Hello. So, yeah, this is not grassroots. This is obviously un-American and communist. Right? I mean, it's just plain and simple. I don't know what this was on Twitter. I can't show my bra strap, but I can have an AR-15. Well, I support... I mean, you can't show your bra strap? Have you watched TV? Have you seen what people are wearing? Okay, so maybe I think what she's saying is at her school, she's under 18, and she cannot show her bra strap because of some kind of dress code. Now, that's a whole other issue. So let's get this sorted all out. Okay, but you can buy an AR-15. I'm sorry, if you're under 18, you cannot buy any firearm. Matter of fact, you can't buy a handgun, you can't buy a long gun, you could still buy a musket where you push it in and one shot at a time with the black smoke falling out the end, shooting out the end like that guy was showing. You can't even get one of those if you're under 18. So I don't know what this girl's talking about. Again, like that one poster, that one science said, education can change the world. Yeah, educate yourself a bit here because you guys know what you're talking about. Teens texting and driving, facts and statistics. 9% of drivers between ages 15 and 19 involved in fatal crashes were distracted at the time of an accident. Yeah, distracted by phones. Just under 3,500 people were killed in distracted driving accidents in 2015. Another 391,000 were injured. Based on these texting and driving facts and statistics, it's clear that distracted driving is a huge problem facing our society, especially little kids, especially teenagers. Okay? Teen auto accidents deaths, just Google it, right? An average of 9 teens, ages 16 and 19, were killed every day. Where's their candles? Okay, and I'm not being an ass right now. Okay, that's sad, these people are dying from cars. 2,739 drivers ages 15 to 20 were killed, and an additional 228,000 were injured in crashes. 81% of teens killed in car accidents were passengers. 63 of teenage passenger deaths occurred in vehicles driven by another teenager. So young kids together in cars are dangerous. So why don't these kids go and hold signs and say no more? Tell Congress to enact practical laws. How about this? No 16-year-old needs a car. How about that? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they don't want to walk out for that. The mainstream media isn't going to support that. Okay? The auto industry is looked upon the NRA. There's commercials all up and down the TV, print, internet for cars to young kids, and then they show the cars going really fast, and they sell these cars that they have a lot of horsepower. Speed is shown to be a huge factor in driving. They show that all these tech packages, right, that have all these bells and whistles and crap flashing at you. It's shown distracted driving helps contribute to these accidents. So where's all the outrage for driving and texting for teenagers? Why are they not asking to ban it? Doesn't make sense, does it? When you really think about it, it don't make any sense. So that's what I think about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I really appreciate it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to subscribe. I just do this for my own pleasure. I like to rant. I feel better after it. But I really do want to know what people are thinking. And I think there's a lot of people that think what I'm thinking here too. So thanks for watching.